my intention for a class like that is specifically to get into the areas in the body where we hold energetic blocks, blocked emotions, energetic blocks. And so I want to back up a little bit. One of the experiences I had was studying with a tantrika yogini in the jungle of Bali. And she taught us an ancient understanding of the way energy can form knots, K-N-O-T-S, knots, those kind of knotted up energy. And there are three main areas called granthis in Sanskrit. And I had such a profound experience of those energetic knots in my own body and what it took to undo them, that started really, that's what I wanted to bring back into my dance classes. So over the years, I've figured out how to, you have to approach them in a certain way. You can't just come into someone, you can't come into your body and just say, get out of there and rip them out because it doesn't work that way. So I've figured out a way to ground, do a certain kind of breathing and grounding and a moving of the fluids, getting the joints fluid, and a way of heating. So I use movement to heat those areas. And I think about it a little bit like doing laundry, to be honest. Imagine having a stain on your clothes. You start with a pre-soak, and then you might spray some stain remover and give a good brush and scrub it. So in class, I get those areas heated, and then I go in and I call it agitation in my mind, like an agitation cycle in a washing machine where you really agitate the water. I go in and with movement, agitate the areas where the energies are stuck. Agitate. I go back again, heat and agitate, heat and agitate. And then at a certain moment, and I can always tell when it is, there's a certain moment where we liberate. So after heating and agitating, there's a liberation movement piece. And there's this liberation turns into expression. So it allows for now, once that energy is liberated, then it allows women, I'm going to say women, it's not that men can't do this, it's just that my classes tend to all be women. So what happens is women begin having a physical felt experience of expressing themselves that they couldn't have done when they were stuck. And then after the liberation, the next phase is to provide some structuring back into the body. And once structured back into the body, I have a time for just assimilation and integration. So it's a 13-step sort of, I consider it like a bit of a wave. Although in that wave, we go through a spin cycle, like heat, agitate several times to get those areas. So that's what it is. That's what we do in there.
And it's a workshop. I mean, are there like levels or all of this is kind of done in one session? Wow.
All of this is done in one session. And I, because this has been organic, I never intended to create a teacher training at all. I just was doing me. I was healing myself. All the trainings I've taken, I'm so grateful for my training in Nia, in Hatha Yoga, I took Kundalini training, and I've studied Ayurveda. Ayurveda also infuses my understanding. I've studied Ayurveda since 1990. So all of these understandings infuse it. So I never intended it. And I don't even consider myself having created a modality. What I do want to do on my 60th birthday, what happened is, on that day, my 60th birthday, I got a direct sort of like a message that says, don't let this die in you. Tell other people what you figured out. So I just love sharing what I figured out, that you can use consciously chosen movement in this way and have a pretty dramatic effect. And here's what I discovered, Leslie, when I did my first teacher training, I can get through the bulk of the 13 steps in just 21 minutes. I can take it and make it longer. And my classes are 60 to 75 minutes, but I can do one sort of pass through in a 21-minute period. So Yeah. So anyway, that's what happens.